protect us from all evil, and bring us to everlasting life. Amen. So, I'm going to upload later the letter that Saint Ignatius of Antioch sent to the other bishops and to the other Christians at the time, because that is probably the most profound example besides Jesus Christ that I know of, that I've read, of somebody understanding of what is being whispered in a lot of our ears. There's a difference between being suicidal and wanting to die, wanting it all to end. There is a difference between that and wanting to give up our lives and asking for the strength to give up our lives. When you need to give up your life, that is an awful lot different. Parents seem to understand much easier than those of the single life, because they are reminded every day as they get stuck in traffic because they're late to work, as they have to make special requests to leave early. Why? Because their children do not get up on time, and because their children don't wash their hands enough and get colds from everyone. Those parents are very heroic. They have sacrificed, they have given up their own interests because of their children. As soon as they made the decision with their spouse to have that child, that decision came with the sacrifice. And the fruit of that sacrifice is death to the flesh, not the child. The mortification of self, the fruit of that is bringing that child before God, giving that child back. One of the things that I hear, I have to remember to not put my lanyard out there. Okay, anyway, how do I want to say this? Because I'm sitting in a red light. It just turned green. Wow. And these people don't even realize, okay, I'm praying for all of them. They have great faith. These people sitting in the intersection in a green light have great faith. And I pray for them. I ask for their mercy in the intersection. Asking for their mercy in the intersection. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. Saint Ignatius of Antioch was a great reminder to me personally of what it truly means to die. And to die for no other reason than the promotion of the kingdom. He was torn limb from limb by lions. And I personally believe, even though I haven't seen it written, I personally believe that he was given that foreknowledge. He was given the knowledge, this is how you're going to die. And sometimes I think that the Lord offers that to us for no other reason than to say, look, this is the path. If you read the Gospels, for some of us, the only path to heaven is martyrdom. Martyrdom does not always mean a physical death. But children can make some parents break the first commandment. Yes, your child is a gift from God, but your child does not stand in the place of God. If you say, I want my children to have a better life than I did, that's okay, understandable. But if you really want your kid, your young adult in the making, to live a sacrificial life, to be someone who understands God's love and God's mercy, then you need to hand that child over to God. And I'm not saying sacrifice your child to the God of Planned Parenthood, to Baal, and to all the fertility gods who are demons, I'm saying you give your child back to God and say, Lord, I know that this is a blessing, and I thank you for this blessing. But I'm giving this child back to you the same way Abraham gives back Isaac. And if you remember what happened, and you're not reading the Quran, which is a mistelling of what happened with Abraham, and they add another character who did not exist. There's no genetic evidence or of this other brother's existence. And the wellspring of the water in the Quran, there's a lot of stuff that I think does take away from the most important thing. Abraham misunderstood God when he was saying sacrifice your son, but he understood well enough to say, I will give my son. Now, the Satanists love to talk about how Isaac never forgave his father for that, but that's not accurate either. Isaac was called directly by the Lord. So the purpose of giving your child back to God is not that God wants to kill your kid. In burnt offerings, he does not delight. But when you give yourself, let's say you sleep 8 hours. Let's say you're somebody who, even though I think is truly beautiful, seems to think, okay, well, I'm beautiful enough that I need 9 hours of sleep. Well, I mean, for me, I could sleep 24 hours and it wouldn't add to the beautification. I couldn't sleep a whole day and fix what has not been made. But let's say you sacrificed 1 hour for the Lord. And what does that mean? How could you sacrifice 1 hour for the Lord? Well, if you sit with him in adoration, I can tell you many, many churches who need an overnight hour that Jesus is alone. He needs you. If you can offer up 1 hour per evening, yes, the commute time is going to make that 1 hour cost more. But that is a gift. That is a volunteer martyrdom. If any of us find ourselves saying, I could never do what you do. I could never do that. I just don't think I could do that. The question that I would ask us, as I ask myself, is what am I holding on to? Shit. What am I holding on to? What am I holding on to that is keeping me... Sheriff. Hi, Sheriff. What am I holding on to that's keeping me from this? All right, he's behind me now, so God bless you and keep you. God bless Ignatius of Antioch. I'm going to try to record and upload his actual letter.